What's up? How y'all doing? Hello? I know lunch makes y'all a little sleepy, so give me my side. All right, so here we go. I do a lot of like rooms, and when we comedians, we always call clubs rooms because it's easy, because sometimes we do bars, sometimes we do theaters, so everything's a room, all right? So I do a lot of white rooms, all right? And basically a lot of black rooms too, but whenever I do white rooms, I always feel like I have to like build a bridge of like, all right, listen, you know, I'm black, but listen, I'm very progressive, I work with white people, you know what I mean? So I know that, so I say this joke, or I'm like, okay, listen, I understand white people. My only problem, not even problem, critique of white people, basically, is I don't like it when a lot of y'all use the word African American, you know? Because when y'all use the word African American, there always seems to be this weird pause. You know what I'm talking about? You ever heard that? Hey, Seaton, I just saw these two African Americans breaking into my car, and I was wondering if you could. Right? Listen, I'm not racist at all. Like, I dated a white girl. I mean, she wasn't like white. She was white on the outside, but like, you know, Negro in the middle. You know what I mean? You know, those like, you know, ghetto white, you know? She was trying so hard to be black. It was funny. She had like fake hair and fake nails. She straight weave sewn into her straight hair. Like, she was trying so hard to be black. She had sickle cell. I'm like, how do you do that? Don't be hating on my sickle cell. Don't be hating. But I said those two jokes specifically to be like, all right, those are jokes that normally, for some reason, only work in a room full of white people. I do that in a room full of black people. They're like, what are you talking about? You know, they don't, vaguely. And maybe if some of them actually work with white people, they'll maybe get it, but they'll give me a giggle, you know, and they'll expect something else. My whole life, a comedy anyways, I've noticed that I've had trouble doing both rooms with the same jokes, both black people and white people. There's a difference. And that takes me to my first point. My very first time I bombed, all right? I bombed horribly. I was 15 years old. I did this room in Newark, New Jersey. And if you don't know Newark, New Jersey, there's a lot of movies where people get shot made in Newark, New Jersey. And I got up on stage and I was like, rah, rah, rah. And before that, I used to do like a lot of church conferences with a lot of white hippies, and they just used to love me, you know? And this room, I bombed so badly in this room, literally on the car ride home, my mom looked at me and she was like, don't ever invite me to another show until you get famous. You know, that's, so I really bombed badly. So she did help me out though. She helped me, she introduced me to my first mentor, a woman named Janine, and she actually explained to me, like, listen, you were doing white humor in a black room. That's a difference. And I was like, well, what's the difference? We couldn't really explain it, but you can kind of know it. Everybody in the room kind of knows it. Everybody knows Seinfeld and Martin are two different things for two different crowds. But what? I don't know. Somebody put it in words. Like I don't know. She tried to take me once to this room, right? This guy named Ashley Larry now, but like before it used to be Donna Rollins, and it was actually a really raunchy show. Like, it was weird. There was a stripper there who was not actually stripping. She was kind of on break, but like. But she decided that she was like really missed work for some reason, so she kept walking around, and eventually she kind of started flashing people. And then another dude raised $100, was like, I will give $100 to the first person who flashes. And then she got into a fight with another woman because she thought her flashing was better than the other flashing. That was my first introduction to black comedy, which I'm pretty sure is not accurate, you know? So I went to college, right? Went to a black university. And I found that I actually took a black comedy class, and we all had this, you know, fun conversation about it, and I actually brought it up. I'm like, what do y'all think black comedy is? And they were like, well, one person said something interesting, and I never forgot, was black comedy is truth, all right? Truth is what black people want to hear. They want to hear about what's really happening in life. They want to hear something they can relate to. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Because, you know, the original black people, the first black performers, comedians-wise, were minstrel shows, you know? Hey, tap dancing, you know, like that's, I mean, yes, that's very uncomfortable. I guess maybe you can argue that stereotypes are based in truth, yes, but I don't want to believe that's true, you know? Maybe, hey, I don't know, maybe it is, I don't know, but if that's black comedy, then I can't do that, you know? That is what it is. I tried to try the truth method though. I tried to talk about my truth, and I did it in one Baltimore room, right? And this is like really like this super Baltimore room. They actually shot scenes from The Wire at that room. Like actually, like a couple months after I did that show, a city council member got shot. It was Baltimore, all right? I tried to get up there, and remember, because I was in college still at the time, and I tried to talk about my truth, and at that point, I was like really depressed. And who isn't? It's college, right? And I got on stage, and I tried to like, you know, I had this kind of awkward kind of stance, and because I was first starting doing comedy, and I was just like, Hey, everybody. How you doing? Everybody okay? I hope you're okay, because, you know, I used to not be okay. I actually used to want to kill myself. I didn't, though. I didn't, because I decided that I want to die the same way I was born, by mistake. You know, I did that joke, and they looked at me like I was trying to sell crack to their babies. You know what I mean? They looked at me, what are you talking about? And then I got off stage, and the guy after me did a Michael Jackson impression and destroyed the room, you know? Which speaks to hacks, which I'm not gonna talk about right now, all right? So what is it? Like, I would have conversations with other comedians, like, what is it with the black audiences, the white audiences? White comedians had an interesting perspective. White comedians would be like, well, black people want something more organic, you know? They don't really care about the writing so much. It's just they wanna feel involved with the show, you know? And actually, the best analogy for that is, a lot of white people, you go to movie theaters with black people, right? They're always yelling at the screen. The best analogy is this. If a white crowd and a black crowd sees the same play of Hamlet, all right? And it's a great play, by the way, Hamlet. White people will leave that club thinking to themselves, like that theater thinking, okay, man, the production was amazing. The direction, exquisite. The acting, exhilarating. The writing, wonderful. Black people will leave that theater thinking, man, everybody was just fucking with Hamlet, weren't they? You know, they'll just, you know? They need the fourth wall. They love the fourth wall. They just want to be involved. They want to see the story. And that's the same thing with comedy. They just want to, what's happening with you? I don't want to hear that. I don't care about the construction. I don't want to be involved. Just tell me the story. Be stupid. Be crazy. A lot of comedians used to say that black comedians, they really got angry at black crowds a lot of times. And they would just say, listen, you know, they're ignorant. All they want to hear about is hookers, hoes, and clothes. That's it. On the flip side, though, Chris Rock came out in 1996. And he became the biggest comedian in the world. And he opened up about the Million Man March, and then he talked about the presidential election, then he talked about the OJ trial, and then he ended with relationships. For an hour, nothing about hookers, hoes, and clothes. Like nothing ignorant, nothing respect, nothing minstrel. It was the most amazing, exhilarating thing ever. I was confused. What is that? How can I do that? I want to do that. I don't know how to do that, because I'm not funny. But But I decided at one point, I was like, all right, what if I just stay in white rooms for a while and just be me, and eventually I'll figure out black rooms eventually. If I just, you know, because I got white rooms, I got it. I get paid doing it, they love me, it's good. But then, I made a mistake. I went to Ohio. Now, this is messed up. Okay, listen, this looks very bad, but literally, if you type in Ohio and KKK, oh my God, there's so many pictures. And I couldn't help it. I was like, oh, I gotta do it, right? It wasn't that bad, but dude, it was kind of bad, because I got on stage and I killed. It was like, rah, 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 I get on stage, like, yeah, look at me. I get off stage, and the club owner, who, you know, came up to me, and I was like, hey, sir, thank you for, you know, inviting me, thank you for paying me. How do you think I did, you know? I shouldn't have asked that. And his first reaction was, well, and when people do that, something bad's gonna happen, all right? So he's like, well, and then he's like, first sentence out of his mouth was, listen, I know you don't perform in front of a lot of white people. I was like, oh God, this is gonna be bad. He was like, but listen, I feel like you were funny, don't get me wrong, you're funny, but some of the white people there were a little nervous with you. You know, you kind of did your black thing, kind of made them a little nervous, uncomfortable. What? What? You're saying, okay, now you're saying I'm too black for white rooms when I was already too white for black rooms. Is there like a cream-colored room that fits for me? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, so my version of what black comedy is was completely different from what this dude thought was black comedy. Okay, let me explain this. Let me explain this. This is the reason I put this up. I'm not completely innocent, all right, in why he thought I was really black. It's because I really, really, really love the N-word, all right? I giggle. I just can't. For some reason, maybe it's a generational gap. To me, it's just the most melodramatic, funny word. I say it to remember when you were kids and you used to curse yourself and giggle? Anybody do it before? You know, like, poop, 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 ah, when your parents went around? I swear I do the N-word constantly. I'm like, nigga, 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 like in my car. Like, I can't help it. Like, it sounds like a Klan meeting in my car sometimes. I got so immature with it once. Like, anybody ever play this game called Zelda? It's a mystical game. The beginning of the game, you could name your own character. And I named my character Nigga, right? And it's hilarious to me because now wherever I go in this magical, mystical world where dragons and stuff are at, somebody's calling me the N-word, and that's just so funny. I walk into a dungeon and this elf comes out of the floor with a sword like, nigga, take this master sword. It's just so funny to me. And that's what it is. I'm just immature. I can't help it. But people, like, when they hear that word, like, I don't want to hear it. I'm uncomfortable. And that is what. That's what happens. It's just they had a perspective of what black was, and me saying the N-word a lot was just black. Whatever, it doesn't matter if you're talking about office work or something intellectual or something smart, it's black, right? So let me go back for a second. One time, I did the best show, because I was in front of a black crowd, and this was like an epiphany to me, because I did this black crowd, and they were the Howard alumni law students, all right? So they didn't want to hear about the ghetto, hookah, hoes, and clothes, especially. Like, one comic went on before me and started talking about, he was doing great until he started talking about going to the dollar store and talking about weaves. And they were like, I've never heard of that before. He just died. Sorry. You know, and I got on stage and started talking about Office, and the coach said the nigga joke, and they just loved me. And it was like, oh, wow. So now it's not just a black and white thing. Now it's a class thing. Like, rich black people don't want to hear what poor black people think. And rich white people they have their own truth, their own thing. And that's pretty much my point. Like, every room I go to, everybody has their own truth at this point. And I guess the challenge for me is to find my truth and see if I can relate my truth to your truth, and we could all have a good time, and I can get paid to doing it, you know? But really, so whether it's black, white, rich, or poor, everybody has their truth. But the one real fact I know for now is that a good dick joke supersedes all of that. Thank you very much. Thank you.